Welcome to Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by area realtor Jim York and York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information about the local real estate market, featuring leading experts in the real estate field.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. I'm Michael York with the York Real Estate Group, and I'm joined here today with Jim Suttie, the instructor out at Twin Eagles Golf and Country Club. Doc, thank you for being on the show and joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, I'm very familiar with you. You know, 10 years of instruction and still working on the same things, I think. But tell our viewers who you are so they understand some of your accomplishments as well.
Well, Mike, I've been in golf a while, and as you know, I taught you as a junior and as you came up, and I'm been ranked in Golf Digest in the top 20 in America and Golf Magazine and their top 100, and also have had a great long experience in golf. I've been National Teacher of the Year, 4 times Illinois PGA Teacher of the Year, and I'm down here in Florida now at Twin Eagles. And you know, I've been doing that at Twin Eagles for 13 years, and I've been in this area since '95 every winter. So it's been a nice run, and people here I found quite nice.
Absolutely. And where do you go back to in the summertime?
I go to Conway Farms, where they have the BMW right now, and that's worked out real well. And you know, you just down here it's pretty hot and rainy in the summer, so that's why I leave.
Limited schedule, yes. Well, when someone comes to you, walk our viewers through the process of what you do, how you start with them from their very first experience meeting you, and sort of the process that you know, that you and I worked through for 10 plus years.
Well, that's a good question. First of all, every golfer is different. I don't teach everybody the same way, and it's what I call the principle of individual difference. And I will evaluate their golf swing, but the first thing I want to do is look at their body. Ask them if they have any parts in their body that have been replaced, or you know, flexibility issues and certain weaknesses in their body. That gives me a little bit of hint of how I'm going to teach them, because I know they're gonna try to compensate for that area. And then next thing I look at, of course, is their ball flight. I ask them what their goal is, what kind of ball flight they're looking for. Of course, everybody wants to hit at 300 yards, but that's unrealistic. But I look at what their club's doing at the bottom, impact at their club face, their swing path, their angle of attack, things that happen at the bottom of their swing, and try to get the ball flight fixed first. And from there, once the ball flight is fixed, then I will go into the couple, maybe 2-3 points at the most of their swing that I feel it's going to improve their ball flight the most. That's about how the process goes.
And you have some pretty extensive equipment out there. Tell us a little bit about the equipment that you use.
Right. I have a lot of technology, but I use it only when needed. I don't believe in killing a person with technology. I guess they credit me with the person that brought high-speed video and stuff, camera systems to golf, and I have 4 camera systems in my building. We have a weight transfer platform. We have a putt laboratory. We have a very sophisticated launch monitor, and so on and on. I have other things too, a K-vest, things, and some 3D motion analysis things, but I don't use that unless it's needed. And I will pick the person. If a person needs that, I will give it to them. But I'm not going to just throw a bunch of equipment on a person just so he can say, well, I was on this machine. But so it's not needed in a lot of cases.
And do you still send the lesson to the client for them?
Yeah, every golfer that comes see me will get his entire lesson on an email, and it'll be not a sophisticated, but it'll be an email with my voice on it, and it'll show you know, what he needs to be working on. And they can even communicate with me after the lesson by sending their swing back to me with their iPhone, and I send it back to them, which is an interesting way to improve. Some people don't have time for lessons all the time, so that's another option that they can use.
Absolutely. Well, when we come back, we're going to get into some live action with Doc, and he's going to explain some of the most important things he looks for when you come to get a lesson from him.
Thinking of buying a home located in a golf course community in the Naples, Marco, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Here is what Mark Lai, former PGA winner, says about Realtor Michael York of the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty.
Hi, I'm Mark Lai. If you have any real estate needs in Naples, Florida, the one company to contact is the York Real Estate Group. Also, if you want a golf course property to invest in, Michael York of the York Real Estate Group is the guy to contact. Michael knows every golf course in Naples. I will tell you this, he's been in the golf business for a long time. He's played all the great golf courses down here, and he is an outstanding realtor. I've known him for quite some time, and he's he's got a lot of integrity, and he very much knows his stuff on all the different clubs here in Naples. So the York Real Estate Group is a great place to start. So if you have any time or anybody that wants to visit down here in Naples and look at the options out there, please contact the York Real Estate Group.
Welcome back. Doc, we're going to get into some of the most important aspects of the golf swing to help the amateurs, some of the things that they can kind of focus on that are easy fixes for them. And I believe you wanted to start with the grip.
Yeah, the grip controls the face. There's a couple controllers of the face, but the grip has the biggest control of the club face, and the club face is 70% of impact. So I think we'll talk about the left-hand grip first. So let's see your left-hand grip.
Absolutely.
So this would be considered a kind of a neutral grip right here, with a thumb just slightly down the right side of the shaft. And if you show them where it is there, the heel pad of his left hand is on top of the club. Many of the amateurs out there hold it in the palm too much, which makes you have no power at all. So you got to get it, that heel pad. I always try to say, well, hold the club like that. That gets you that where you have complete control of it. And then amateurs, I tell you, most amateurs, not everybody, they have their left hand over to the right more than they generally think they need to be. That's a strong grip, and that would be a good grip for an amateur. The pros sometimes are a little weaker, but you're going to see more strong grips on the tour now than weak grips.
And why do you like the strong grip for
it
the
creates
amateur?
more power, because when you come into the ball, your club face is going to be closed, so you'll have to use your body and get your weight to the left side to actually square it up, right? So it makes you get to the left side instead of just using your hands and arms. So.
Okay. Absolutely. And then you want to get into a little bit about the posture?
Yeah, let's do posture. Go ahead and address the ball there. And posture controls kind of the angle of attack of the club coming down into the ball. So I tell a lot of folks just to get a slight bend, maybe a 25-degree bend forward, slight knee bend right here, and see if Mike dropped his club on the ground, his arms would just hang. And see, a lot of amateurs will sit back like this, you see, and see the arms now are going to be too close and they have to reach. So you got to bend forward about 25 degrees and just let your arms hang really soft. And that means a soft grip as well. So
yeah, the grip's got very light grip pressure as well with that. It's barely just hanging into your hands.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then we'll talk a little bit about alignment. Alignment controls somewhat, I'd say about 75% of the path of the swing coming into the ball. This would be good alignment. Left shoulder high, right shoulder down. And see, that's alignment, what we call parallel left. Most amateurs are positioned over here with their shoulders, and they cut across the ball hitting a slice. But this would be more where we're looking for. And he's pretty stable. If I pushed him, see, he's not going to go back, and he's not going to come forward. He's in a good balanced position there. So that would be grip. And the stance is going to be about shoulder width apart, you know, so it's easy to do.
And then we'll show them, move into a little bit about, you know, obviously I'm young and I think athletic, but move into a little bit about the rotation
of the body, right?
Of the body and what.
Yeah, we rotate around
do.
our spine like this. So when we set up to the ball, we don't want our spine this way because then we'll be on our left side. So we set our spine slightly like that at address. If you can see here, my spine's slightly right. And then I can, when I'll let Mike demonstrate the turn. Okay, stay right there, Mike, and I'll put the club close to you here. So now if I put that on his left shoulder, he'd move behind the ball. That left shoulder is going to move quite a bit on the backswing. See, it moved about 3-4 inches, you see. The head actually can move a little bit. You don't have to keep it absolutely still. But his weight is inside the inside of his right leg right there. He's loaded up. His weight's loaded. He can go someplace from there. Let's try that one more time. See him move? Okay, good. And now we'll show you what some of your amateurs out there do. On the backswing, some of you will dip and keep your weight on the left side.
So
This is on the left side. See, he's got his weight over here. Can't do anything but throw your hands and arms at it from there.
so we'll cast it.
And the other half of the amateurs sometimes will maybe sway a little bit. They'll sway to the right. That's a sway, and that's going to make you just use your hands and arms also, and you can't get your weight to the left side on the downswing. So that's kind of the turn. It's a basic, but it's very important.
So you just want to turn around for the average golfer. You just want to turn around your spine angle, correct?
Yes, turn around your spine.
And same thing on the way through.
Same thing on the way through. You're trying to get your weight to the left side, so it's easier for you to, create some power.
Absolutely.
I guess lastly, the last fundamental might be important is the downswing and how the club comes down.
Absolutely. And most amateurs are going to come from which side of the ball?
Well, when they come down, they usually come outside in. There's two things that I typically see amateurs doing. They're either going to cast the club with their hands and arms, or they're going to lunge and open up their shoulders early. But either case, it causes the club to come outside in on the downswing. So go ahead and address it and go to the top, and we'll show you what you have to try to do. So he's in a good position right here. So what we're trying to get him to do is come down in real close to his body like that. That's called hitting from inside out, and he's going to swing, feel like he's swinging to first base out there. And that would be pretty good for most of you amateurs out there, but here's what typically we see. This would be a casting motion. Okay, go to the top. So he's going to kind of throw his hands and arms first like this, dissipate all the power, and come across the ball. See, it's going to come outside in. So you throw that one. That's an outside in, handsy swing. And the other one would be getting to the top of the swing and starting down with the shoulders. Okay, so you start down, now unwind the upper body. We see that a lot too. Those are the two main things, but both of them cause the club to come down on an outside in path and not an inside out downswing path.
And a really steep angle of attack where they can't release the golf.
Yeah, they'll hit pulls and pull slices from that two bad positions.
So no power. Now, when somebody comes to you, Doc, are you working? Obviously, I have my limitations. It's one long lesson at 10 years, but everybody kind of has their own tendencies.
Yes.
I tend to get very flat, very long,
Right.
with my swing. So when somebody comes to you, are you looking to overhaul their swing, or are you looking to kind of work and improve some of the fundamentals that they have with the golf swing and limitations that they work?
No, I'll work with what they have. They got to work within their physical limitations, and I'll try to work with how they're built, their flexibility level, their injury level, and I don't overhaul the swing ever. Only I work with what they have, and then we work on a good impact that will create a better ball flight for that particular golfer.
And then once somebody starts working with you, we've talked about some of the typical flaws that they have. We've talked to how you send the lessons to them.
Yes.
They may be up north. But if they're in a mid-round and they're working, sometimes it's not always the easiest to take a lesson and then take everything that you're teaching to the golf course. Explain a little bit to our viewers about how to fix some of the flaws mid-round, some of the things that they can look for, or one thing that they can do to improve mid-round.
Well, it's really a good question, because a lot of you try to work on your golf swing when you're playing. And when you're playing, you can't really work on your golf swing. You've got to work on your golf swing on the range. And if you try to work on your swing when you're playing, you'll get a worse result. But it gives you an opportunity to blame your teacher. That's a good thing. But I would say overall, you work on stuff that are static on the golf course, like setup, grip pressure, finish, balance, tempo, rhythm. those kind of things are non-technical in nature. Technical stuff should be done on the range.
And a lot of the tempo, like you said, that can take care of a lot of the flaws about just putting the ball in play, getting the next shot on the green. Tempo has a lot to do with it, and how, you know, tempo has a lot to do with where your club is as well, and how your body reacts. If the arms and the body are moving at two different paces.
Right. Now, tempo is, you know, I put fundamentals of mechanics below the four things I think are most important. Tempo is the overall speed of your swing. Rhythm is how you accelerate the club and decelerate it during the swinging process. Balance is how you balance your swing at address and balance it through the swinging process. And timing, which is the sequence of your swing. And the sequence is the order of movement. And the order of movement is far more important than how it looks.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, when we come back, Doc's going to give us the single most important tip for your golf game.
Thinking of buying or selling a home in Naples, Marco, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Think of the most experienced York Real Estate Group associated with the #1 brokerage in Naples, Downing Fry Realty, which produced $1.9 billion in sales in 2014, controlling 43% of all transactions in Naples. Jim, Michael, and Morgan York make up the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. With over $250 million in sales transactions, they can offer you the expertise and trust you want and need in a realtor. Call them today at 239-273-6727 or visit their website, www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.
Welcome back. Doc, if we could give our viewers just one piece of advice, you know, to help them immediately, and especially out on the golf course. You know, I think we've already talked about some of it, but what would be the one piece of advice that you think could help them right away?
Well, it's hard to give one, but I'll say the two most important is tempo, the overall speed of your swing. When you go back, make sure you don't rush the takeaway or rush it from the top. Try to keep your tempo even on the backswing, and generally slow during your change of direction. And let the speed gather at impact. And the other one is grip pressure. I think 9 out of 10 players that play the game are just strangling the club,
Squeeze
and they
it
can't
too tight,
move.
yep.
Yeah. So it's those are my two best ones, I guess, and what I see in my daily teaching. So
Absolutely, and the rhythm, you know, everybody thinks you got to swing hard to hit it far, and it's actually quite the opposite. If you hit it in the center of the club face, that usually works a little bit better. doesn't
right,
it?
speed should be produced at the bottom, and most amateurs produce their speed before the bottom, and that's why they lose the power. They lose their lag or their leverage, and they're not able to generate the club head speed that their body will allow them to have. But I think it's just a matter of, you know, if they got an old towel at home and put it at the end of their club, tied it on the end of their wood club, and they go in the backyard and swing it a little bit, they'd feel how that towel is just slowly reacting, just like throwing a ball. We're just throwing a ball like this, and we're letting the wrist naturally lag. We're letting the club lag naturally. I think that's probably the best drill I could give any of them.
Yeah, and if they flip the club over too and swing with that, they can hear that swoosh, and
Yes.
a lot of them waste their energy.
They waste their energy
up
at top. When you put a towel on the end of your driver, you cannot release the club early. What you'll do is you'll release it later, you'll have more speed, and you'll feel the club head. And we have, so much has been written on golf now, Mike, that I think that we've kind of lost our way in mechanics, and we're not allowing the golfer to be natural.
Absolutely, I agree. A great person to look at is Jordan Spieth, and then if you go back, you know, the best is always Freddie Couples. You know, everybody thinks he's swinging so soft and so smooth, and then you get out there and look at him hit the ball, and it's consistently over 300 yards, and he's probably 55, 56 years old now.
He is, and there's really no one way to swing a golf club. If people could understand, they're not going to do it this particular way. There's a lot of ways to do it, and it depends on those physical factors and the way you learned when you were younger. There are certain fundamentals, but not one way to swing.
I agree. Well, Doc, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Mike.
Allowing us to have you. It's been a long road. I know I've spent many hours with you, and
We've had fun.
We have. I appreciate you coming on, and look forward to doing it again.
No problem.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.